All right, today we're going to dive into a pretty controversial idea. What if the way we've all been taught to work, through teamwork and endless collaboration, is now the very thing that's actually slowing us down? We're going to break down how AI is completely flipping the script on what it means to be effective.
I mean, think about it, right? For as long as any of us have been in the workforce, the mantra has been exactly the same. Get more people in the room, collaborate more, talk it out. We've literally built entire companies around this belief that more heads are always better than one.
But here's where this explainer gets really interesting, and maybe a little counterintuitive. What if our obsession with getting everyone to agree, with reaching a consensus, is now the biggest roadblock we face?
Okay, so to really get our heads around this huge shift, we first have to take a closer look at that core belief. Let's start by exploring what we could call the myth of teamwork, and really rethink what it all means today.
And look, for a very long time, this model made total sense. You absolutely needed different specialists for every single part of a project. You had your writer, your designer, your analyst. No one person could possibly do it all. The real limit on getting something done was just pure human capability.
But then AI walks onto the stage. And as we're about to see, it doesn't just change the game, it completely rewrites the rules. The old limits, they're basically disappearing.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. The old world on the left? It was all about capability. How many smart people could you throw at a problem? But now, in the new world on the right, execution is becoming cheap, easy, and incredibly fast. The real bottleneck, the thing that stops progress now, is decision-making. It's simply getting the green light to go.
And this is so important to understand. AI isn't here to replace human expertise. What it does is dramatically, and I mean dramatically, lower the cost of just getting started, of trying things out, of experimenting and refining an idea. It empowers one single person to go from a spark of an idea to a draft to a working prototype at a speed we've just never seen before.
Okay, so if actually doing things is suddenly fast and cheap, what's the new roadblock? What's the new thing slowing us down? Well, that brings us right to our third section, the coordination trap.
And we all know why we fall into this trap, right? Coordination just feels like the responsible thing to do. It's about managing risk, ensuring quality, being fair. But look at the other side of that scale. The cost is massive. It's a cost paid in endless meetings, in trying to persuade everyone, in watering down ideas, and just waiting. That's the friction.
And this really leads to the fundamental problem. When everyone is involved, no one is fully responsible. It's the very heart of the coordination trap. Ownership gets spread so thin that accountability just evaporates.
And AI puts a giant, unflattering spotlight right on this weakness. I mean, when you can build the rocket ship of an idea in an afternoon, but then you have to wait 2 weeks for a committee to open the gate, that delay becomes impossible to ignore. It's a glaring, painful inefficiency.
So, if that's the trap, how do we get out? Well, the answer is a really powerful and, honestly, a kind of old-school idea. Clear, unambiguous ownership. It's about trading that need for consensus for simple clarity.
All right, let's bring this down to earth and make it real. Forget the corporate world for a second. Let's just think about a teacher. A teacher who has a fantastic idea to help her students learn better.
You see, in the old way of doing things, that teacher was basically powerless. To try anything new, she had to navigate this bureaucratic maze of committees, administrator approvals, and district-level politics. Any progress was painfully slow, if it even happened at all.
But now, look at the difference. With AI as her assistant, that same teacher can own the entire process. She can analyze data on her students, have AI generate custom lesson plans, and then test them right there in her own classroom. She's not waiting for permission anymore. She's driving improvement in real time.
So this new way of working, where one person can truly own a problem from beginning to end, is giving rise to a brand new role, and it might just be the most valuable role of this new AI era.
So what is it? What's the most valuable role now? Well, it's not the specialist who's amazing at one specific task, and it's not the manager who's great at scheduling all the meetings. It's something else entirely.
It's the orchestrator. And what is that? It's the person who can see the whole system from start to finish. The one who connects all the different pieces into something that makes sense, and who owns the final outcome, not just one of the little tasks along the way.
Think of the orchestrator as the conductor of an orchestra. They provide the judgment, the direction. They're the ones asking the smart questions and making sure the entire workflow is smooth. They orchestrate all the intelligence, both human and AI, to keep things moving forward with momentum.
Okay, so a totally fair question at this point is, if this single orchestrator is so powerful, what happens to the team? Are we just saying teamwork is dead? Let's tackle that in our last section.
No, absolutely not. Teamwork isn't going anywhere. But its job is evolving for sure. Teams are still going to be essential, especially for those really big, complex, high-stakes problems where you truly need that diversity of thought and effort.
And this is the big shift right here. On the left, you see the old team's job was often to just wrestle its way to some kind of consensus, which, let's be honest, often created more friction than progress. The new team's job, on the right, it's to find a clear owner and amplify them, to clear the path for them, reduce friction, and help that owner's vision come to life faster and better.
And that really brings us to the core takeaway of this whole thing. It's this simple but powerful idea: in a world where execution is abundant, ownership becomes the rare skill. When anyone can do the thing, the person who can decide what to do and see it through, that's where the real value is.
And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. This shift isn't just some abstract theory. It's a direct challenge to how we all approach our work every single day. So I'll leave you with this final question, which might just be the most important one you can ask yourself today. When you look at the big problems you want to solve, who owns them?